Hello and welcome to episode number 37, 8, one of them, of the TEW 2016 challenge run. We are booking SmackDown, the first SmackDown, coming off hot the heels of Money in the Bank. And we're on the road to Battleground for Team Blue. And let's get underway. We start with Rusev coming down to the ring. And he grabs a microphone, he's really angry. He wastes no time, he says, "Last week Big Show said he had an opponent for me. Well, I'm right here, let's bring him out right now and get this started straight away." And that opponent that he found for him is none other than the WWE Champion, Aleister Black, who comes out with his WWE Championship, and he'd have a bag, like a drawstring bag, pulled over his shoulder as he enters the ring, leaves the bag in the corner, and gets the match underway, which in 1551 he defeats Rusev with the Black Mass. Was expecting kind of maybe a little bit better, but there is no storyline here. There's also apparently a lack of psychology. But after the match, Aleister Black takes the microphone and he goes under the ring and grabs a trash can, places it in the middle of the ring, and he takes the bag from the corner and pulls out Daniel Bryan's custom hemp championship. And he says, for the last 2 months, this title, well, it's been longer than that, it's been since February, so the last 4 or 5 months, this title has been nothing but a pain in the neck for myself and everybody here on SmackDown Live, because its holder and its inventor has been shoving his whole ideals in everyone's face while holding the actual prestigious WWE Championship hostage. And he'd throw it in the trash like Daniel Bryan did originally to the actual title when he introduced the hemp belt. And he would get a lighter, and he said, "So as far as I'm aware, this championship and all that it represents," well, not all that it represents, because that makes it sound like he fucking hates the planet and all that, but this championship and all of the hell that it's brought onto people, is a better way of phrasing it, can burn in hell. And he sets it alight, burning and incinerating Daniel Bryan's custom championship. So that title is officially gone. There's a one WWE Championship, and it is the one Aleister Black is holding. Did I press that? I did not. Squash match. Apollo Crews defeats No Way Jose, just to try and get Apollo some more popularity, because I think he's about 50 right now, and I've got to get him to 70, so he needs to start racking up more wins. Big Show's in his office when he's interrupted by the Bar, and the Bar brag about beating the Hardys and beating Lashley and Apollo Money in the Bank, and they tell Big Show that they are the best team on SmackDown and that they've beaten everyone there is to beat. And Big Show says, well, it's the devil's there, the devil's in the details. You have beaten pretty much every single team here on SmackDown Live at some point. However, there is one team here on SmackDown Live you have not faced in this specific tag team championship reign, and that is the New Day. So how about tonight in the main event, you put your money where your mouth is, you put those titles on the line against Big E and against Kofi Kingston. And the Bar, they sort of are hesitant, but in the end they're like, fine, yeah, we'll do that. So the main event is going to be a SmackDown tag team title match between the New Day and the Bar. Kyrie gets a win over Alicia Fox, pretty much ending the women's Money in the Bank stuff. Alicia takes the L to Kyrie, who's frustrated, need a bounce back win after not winning the briefcase 2 nights before. We then get a backstage interview with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, who was not featured on the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. And Gabby's asking him, what are your motivations going forward after what has been kind of a disappointing couple of months, because you lost to Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, you lost to Drew McIntyre, and you were not even featured on Money in the Bank. And he says everyone has ups and downs in their career. I'm still trying to get used to this whole being a good guy thing, because my son looks at me as this role model and I have to be this hero for him. But I'm sure I'll get the hang of it in the end, when Kathy Kelly would get startled by something off screen and run away. Well, not run away, she'd probably stay around and just look scared and on edge when the camera pans to see the Snake Busters still with another big snake. And they're like, Drew's like, hey Kev, any last minute tips, because we're once again going against Randy Orton tonight. And Owens is like, you guys going against Randy Orton, you know you're going to get fucking battered, right? And they're like, no, we've been training about how to stop snakes and how to handle snakes. Look. And then Owens, being the zoo expert and animal expert he is, would be like, well, you're holding that snake wrong for a start. And he would adjust and help Truth get the correct posture on the snake before patting him on the shoulder and wishing him good luck. So just a friendly little gesture from Kevin Owens to SmackDown's two most popularizing stars. Bobby Roode, the new Intercontinental Champion, cheats to get a win over Rey Mysterio. Just need to get him on the show to show off him as the new champion. Not really much else. A lot of the matches on this show are more sort of filler. But this segment is not. Shayna Baszler comes out after winning the triple threat match for Money in the Bank. I'm putting Charlotte Flair to sleep. And she says she beat Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, proving her worth as the most dominant SmackDown Women's Champion of all time. It takes little time for Alexa Bliss herself to come out again. And she says, look, I know a lot of people may think I've got a death wish, but I'm going to stand my ground because I didn't lose last night or 2 nights ago. You put Charlotte to sleep, not me. And although I am only little Alexa Bliss and you are MMA badass Shayna Baszler, I still feel I could get my and beat you in a one-on-one contest. So at Battleground, why don't you face me one-on-one? This would bring out Charlotte Flair, again, who's like, Alexa, sorry, love, but again, look at you and look at me. I know, I may have been caught off guard in a fluke, getting caught off guard by 2 seconds in one moment of weakness. But trust me, that will never... That's only the only weakness that I've ever shown in my whole 5-year career here in WWE. It will never happen again. Whereas Alexa, your whole career has been built off weakness. You can't get the job done. And Shayna would interrupt and she'd be like, well, I've beat you both countless times now. Why is the rest of the division not stepping up? And then Charlotte would laugh and she'd be like, don't you get it? For the last 4 years, this, pointing at her and Alexa, this is the women's division. And so if anybody else deserves a shot, it's going to always be myself or Alexa. And then the lights would go out and up on the Titantron would pop a familiar image. And out comes the former SmackDown Women's Champion, who we haven't seen since she lost the title to Shayna Baszler at Backlash. That, of course, being Asuka. Would come out, do her whole entrance, wouldn't even say anything, would just stare a hole through all 3 women walk up to Shayna and pat her championship that's on her shoulder while grinning. Shayna still not backing down, and then walk away. So Asuka, who hasn't been seen because I didn't have anything for her until now, and I didn't want to keep her around on telly just doing nothing, because I feel with a roster as large as the WWE roster, you're always going to have someone to fill roles. So if I wanted to do a job match with a face, I'd put like Liv Morgan or another babyface, lower end woman in there. So you got no excuse for your top stars to look weak or feel stale, because you've always got someone to fill the role. So as I'm sure you've been noticing, occasionally some wrestlers will just sort of get time off and disappear for a while, because you've got a roster strong enough, and if you bring the superstar back in a big way, it sort of maintains their momentum in a way. Handicap match. Curtis Axel and R-Truth defeat Randy Orton in 8:49 in what is pretty much a good solid 90% Randy Orton brutalizing these two poor men, and they toying with them, being a sadistic heel Randy Orton, when Kevin Owens, the lovely man himself, would come out to try and motivate R-Truth. No, would try and motivate Curtis Axel at ringside, but he's been knocked down. Orton would see him out there and obviously be like, "What the fuck are you doing out here, you fat cunt?" And when he's distracted, R-Truth would roll up Randy Orton and score the pin. So the Snake Busters, they've finally achieved their goal. Months of going to reptile houses and learning the perfect way to deal with snakes has paid off in a big way. And their target snake, this viper they had their eyes on, has been busted. We then get Mandy Rose and Carmella explaining why they attacked Sasha and Bayley on Raw. And it's pretty simple. It's just, obviously they wanted the shot of the women's tag titles, because when the titles were announced, it was, you can defend the titles on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, NXT UK, wherever. Any brand is eligible. So why, since WrestleMania, after winning the titles, they say, "Oh yeah, they've beaten every team on Raw"? Well, yes, they've beaten every team on Raw. They haven't ventured too far from Raw since WrestleMania. In fact, they've never faced a SmackDown team for the tag titles. But that ends now, because Mandy and Carmella officially invite the women's tag team champions to SmackDown next week, and we'll see if they can respond. If they respond and they arrive. Mr. Money in the Bank, Ricochet, is in a match against Jinder Mahal. They've got no chemistry and they don't click, but meh. It's just to get him a nice win to showcase what is sure to be a future WWE champion with that briefcase, all but confirming it. We then see Daniel Bryan and Rowan. Bryan sat somewhere on a dark staircase. He'd have a hood up, and it would be all dark and down. And he's for so long, I was always seen as this hero amongst the WWE universe. I was doing what they wanted me to do, and I overcame the odds, and I became the WWE champion. But more recently, as I've become sort of my own person, instead of being what they wanted me to be, I've been seen as a villain and seen as a disgusting, heinous human being. I made this championship because everybody else had turned their back on me. I was just doing what I cared about and what I thought was right for the world, but you all turned your back on me, and I had no one to turn to but Rowan, and what I created was my championship, which I saw as my baby, and I loved as if it was a part of me. That championship went everywhere with me, and it pretty much became one with Daniel Bryan. So seeing this sick, twisted, spooky, Satan-worshipping Aleister Black throw my title in the trash, and in his quotes, burning it in hell, broke my heart. You see, that's the good thing about being somebody like Aleister Black, being this dark figure, this sort of presence, is you don't really have human emotions like someone like Daniel Bryan does. So he'll find a way to get back at Aleister Black for all the pain he caused him by setting alight his WWE Championship. But because Black is sick and twisted and has no emotions, it's going to be kind of a struggle for Bryan to find a way to tick him off like he did to Daniel Bryan. Tag title main event, 81B, New Day failed to defeat the Bar, and the Bar make defense number 3 of their tag team championships. Kofi Kingston is on decline now, which is not a good thing. And the show as a whole gets a 82B. Meh. Middle of the road, I guess. And now we pause for 205 Live. And we're back with 205 Live, which kicks off with Flip Gordon in the ring. Cutting a promo how he was 1 point away from becoming the number 1 contender for the Cruiserweight Championship when Paige and her crew came out and attacked him and cost him that shot. So he made his mark at Money in the Bank and took out Tyler Bate. And because he never lost, because that match was a no finish, he's still sitting on 2 points. So once he gets a win in the main event tonight, he'll be declared the official number 1 contender. This brings out Paige, who's like, well, you don't deserve... This isn't Monday Night Raw. You don't get a title shot by just coming out and attacking the champion. Tyler is disgusted with your actions. He's not even going to come out and face you. And then that would bring out the new general manager, the Hurricane, who'd be like, Paige, you need to listen, love, because attacking the champion doesn't get you a title shot. You're correct. However, getting 3 points does, which is what Flip Gordon will have the chance to get in the main event tonight. And if Tyler Bate's not here, he's not going to get involved. And to make sure that your other two cronies don't get involved, they're going to be in action coming up next. So we get tag team action, White Wolf against the Dogs Bollocks. And they get the win, but they will be, obviously, after having a match, not really going to be in much of a state to come out and attack Flip Gordon during the main event. We then get a promo with Evan Bourne, who is explaining how happy he is to be back here in WWE, and how it's his goal to become the Cruiserweight Champion and bring glory and bring more eyes to the 205 Live show. Just a simple goal, really, just because he's a babyface. I want to be the Cruiserweight Champion and bring 205 Live to the top. We then get a random match for scoreboard points. Akira Tozawa, who was already on 1 point, gets a win over Brian Kendrick, And so Tozawa is now on 2 points. Kendrick, I don't believe, was on the board as it was, but he's definitely off the board right now. Eric Young cuts a promo saying next week he'll make his 205 Live debut. That's pretty much all he has to say. And the main event is Flip Gordon defeating Drew Gulak to get his 3rd point and become the official number 1 contender for the Cruiserweight title. And Drew Gulak, who had a point, is now off the board. Quick show, as opposed to the very long Raw and SmackDown that we had this week. And the scoreboard looks like this. Flip Gordon 3 points, Tozawa 2, Leo Rush, Aiden English, Angelico, and Sin Cara, all on 1. And that is the end of 205 Live, so coming up next will be the next edition of Monday Night Raw. See you then.